Hello guys, today I am with a PS3 Fat, so let's test it. It is with a yellow light fault that is called YLoD. So let's test it. It is already checked by somebody but could not fix it. Today I will try to explain the YLoD in detail, why this fault occurs, that what are the reasons for this fault, and how we can fix it after configuring the fault. Actually, YLoD is an error code which can be caused due to any fault in the motherboard. There was a huge demand from my followers to make more videos on PS3 Fat YLoD, so I have opened this console. I hope you will learn a lot from this video, because I am going to explain in detail the reasons and the configuration of the fault of YLoD. So let's start. One of the reasons of this fault, the YLoD, basically it is an error code that tell us that the error around this GPU, there is some kind of error. Maybe it could be in power section or underneath this GPU, or even it could also be in the power section of this CPU. So first of all, I will check for these power supplies, and there are many power supplies like this that are generating power for the peripheral components, just like CPU, GPU, CPU internal RAM, GPU internal RAM, and even for the RAMs like this, and one of the power supply is here to give power to this south bridge, and there are some more power supplies at the back side of this motherboard, just like this. This is also an DC to DC converter chip. Like this, it is also a DC to DC converter chip, and these are the PWM out that gives output oscillations for these FETs, and these FETs runs these conductors, and afterward we filter these in the output voltage through these token capacitors and give the 1 volt or 1.2 volt to this GPU, and same like here we give 1 volt to the CPU. And the CPU side PWM chip is here, and this is the feedback protection chip for the powers that are generated for this CPU. And here is one more chip that is also a feedback, uh, getting a feedback from the powers that are given or driving this GPU. So let's start and try to configure the fault. I need here a power supply, and first of all I will connect a ground to my motherboard. So here I can connect it at any corner. Yes, it is, and here the standby voltage jack, power on off switch like this. It is from an old model PS3. No, it is from a PS2 power supply. We can power it through this connector, and the benefit is that we have a on off switch that is built in this socket. Here I will turn on my oscilloscope. I will power it on, and here I will see a red light. Yes, and first of all I will try to check for the power supplies. These power supply, this one and this one, because these are the power supplies for the internal components of this CPU. So here I will check for the input 1.8 volt. Yes, it is, and here is the 1.2 volts. Fine. And this is the input voltage for this DC to DC converter, 1.8 volt, and here I will get 1.5 volts. Yeah, it is fine. And here I will get the temperature data. I can see here. Yeah, it is running. Same like here. Yeah, data is running. And now we will come to the power supply for this GPU, 1.2 volt, fine, and here I can check it is 1 volt, that's also fine. And surely I will get the oscillations on these conductors. Yes, and yes, and same like here I will get oscillation. But here I need to check very keenly that either in the signal of oscillation there must not be any kind of distortion, or yeah, it is not as much green as it should be. You can see here the green 1 volt. Yes, but here it is somehow distorted. You can compare it. Also distorted. Both are distorted. Anyhow, Now I will check for this conductor. It is fine. The output voltage must be in order, 1.5 volts, yes. And here I will check for the other conductor. Oscillation is on order, and the output must be in order, true, 1.8 volt, yes, fine. So it's mean all of these two and these two FETs are working fine, and these FETs also working fine, these are FETs also working fine. Now come to this is a 12 volt choke. We need not to check it because it is directly connected with this power connector that produces 12 volt from the power supply. Yeah, it is power 12 volts, and here you can see also 12 volts. These 12 volts are used for the input of these FETs. These are big FETs, and it is in order. Now come to this power supply that is giving volts for the internal RAM section of this CPU. Yeah, it's working, and output is in order. And here I can also check for the 5 volts, maybe it is 5 volts, and this 5 volt, no, it is 1.8 volt, 2. Okay, so now all the supplies are working fine, no error in power supply section. So there could be a fault, and the cause of this YLoD, most probably it is due to these token capacitor. They are not filtering the power as much as it is needed. So I will try to add some titanium capacitor with these capacitors. Then we will check that either our YLoD is rectified or not, because the whole sections of the power supplies are working fine. So let's try to add a capacitor with the, first of all I will try with the GPU section, GPU power supply, because most probably it is due to this GPU section power supply. So let's try it. I will scratch some paint from I have not powered it off. Yes, I will try to scratch some paint from this. Here I will connect the positive point of my titanium capacitor, and this is the ground. This whole area is ground, and I will scratch for the second point, negative point. I will scratch it from here so that we can add a capacitor here. this, and where I can find it is I have found two of the capacitors. I will fix it on the motherboard this way because this color shows a positive sign, and here it is positive. Let's try it back. It's hot. And one more capacitor I will try to add on the other side. Here I can add one more capacitor. So and this is the ground. Here I can give the ground to this capacitor. And I will put this capacitor like this because the collar of this capacitor is here. It is on this side. Yes, we can put it here. If I try with my solder iron, but it is hard to solder it because the motherboard sucks a lot of heat, and it would not be fixed with the help of this iron, so I must use a heat gun. Heat gun damages the casing of this Tokin capacitor, but it is no issue. I hope it is connected, and here I will connect the ground side of this capacitor. Now let's check it back, but it is hot. We have to wait, cool it down. Where is its power on? Yes, this one. And here you can see now the green light is not with a yellow light. If it cools down, then I will let you check that the yellow light error has been rectified. As the capacitance of these token capacitors has been reduced with the passage of time, so we need not to remove these capacitors. Just add one capacitor at one side and the other capacitor like this on the other side. Yes, and then you can check back either the YLoD error has been removed or not. So let's check it. It is blinking red light, and now it is a steady red light, and I'm going to turn it on. You can see that now there is no more YLoD after the red light, and it will turn off with the 3 beeps. It means it's working. Now it's working, and it is shutting off due to the overheat of the CPU and GPU. So if you want to see the whole video on the TV, I have to put it back in its console, and then I can let you check the display. So let's do it. Yeah. Here I will give you one more tip about the paste. I always use the WD-40 to refresh this paste. I never use the new paste because this paste works fine. We need not to replace the paste. So this is a WD-40. I will take some on my finger and just add here and here. It will dissolve all the hard part of this paste, thermal paste, by rubbing it with the WD-40 liquid. As you can see that it's same like the original paste. And I guarantee you that it will work for a long time. We need not to worry about it. And here I will spread this paste as well. And the same thing I will do with the heatsink. And I will collect the paste, extra paste from this heatsink like this. Somebody has added a ordinary paste that is in gray color. but no problem. So let's do it. I have taken some more liquid of WD-40. It is a very good tool for me. Again, you can do it, and there is a lot of paste. We can use it. Need not to spoil this paste. It can be used again and again, like this and this. Okay, fine. I think that's enough. That's enough. Okay, I am putting this board back on its heatsink, and if I verify for the pads, so we must be careful about these pads. The heat, the thermal pads for the FATs, one is here, that is missing from this, it is sticking here, and the rest of three are here, so it's fine. And I have given a packing for this motherboard because somebody has reflowed this GPU already, due to which the heat sensor gets somehow away from the heat spreading plate. So to sense the whole heat from the processor, it must be needed that the sensor should be attached to the heat spreading plate. So that I have given this packing. It is just a visiting card. I have folded it and put it here. Now I will get it together and will show the display on the screen. And I must attach this ribbon, because if the ribbon is not attached, our controller module will not work, and maybe the controller would not sync with this console. Yes, and I lock it at the down side like this, and from this it should be down. Now it is locked. So that's the main power, and here I will connect the HDMI port, and as you can see that red standby light here and steady red light. I am going to turn it on, and as you can see there is no more YLoD, and here we can see the display on the screen. Yes, here we can set the date only for here, and I will connect my controller with this, and we should sync this. It is synced, and here I will go. Okay, back. Yes, and you can hear no fan sound. It is quite cool and normal. So guys, in this video I'm sure that you have learned some tips, little tips, not complicated but normal tips for fixing a YLoD, especially a fat PS3. So thank you very much and goodbye.